So, hello folks, my name is Graham. Welcome to the next Vintage Legends. We're here today with John Harper. John's who you're from just outside Cincinnati.
Yeah, just outside Cincinnati, just
Uh,
middle of the Midwest U.S.
yeah, listen, very much appreciate you've joined us today, especially as it's a holiday weekend. So, greatly appreciated you've managed to get out of bed, especially the difference in time zones and stuff as well.
Gets me away from it
Um,
for a little bit, so it's all good.
Before we go into a bit of obviously the music and such with John, if you want to find us on Facebook, you can check us out at the Vintage Guitar Players group. Just search for it, or check out facebook.com/groups/the Vintage Place. You can check us out on Instagram at 95 Vintage Legends. And if you're enjoying what you're hearing with these interviews and me dragging on about these things, please do feel free to consider supporting us by hitting subscribe. So, John, you are here today to join us. Please feel free to tell us a bit about Motel Faces, your band, and your music, the kind of stuff you play.
Yeah, man. We're a pretty classic rock band. I don't know. We've always sort of struggled to like really describe like what we are because we just kind of like make whatever it is that we just feel like making. But we do all kind of have a certain like just DNA makeup that whatever we do, it all ends up just being like rock music. We've tried to write so many other things, but like we all grew up on like the Foo Fighters, so I mean everything ends up with a certain like just that straight ahead rock and roll sort of like feel to it. Uh, so we've sort of stopped trying to fight that and just let it
Embrace
come
it,
out.
man. Embrace it.
Yeah, so I mean that's sort of what we are. We I don't know, a lot of stuff, especially like local around us, is very like metal, or you go to the other end of the spectrum and it's like indie rock. So I mean, like
Okay.
we definitely like in our like local community here, we found ourselves in kind of a weird like we don't really know where we fit. We've had a hard time finding like a local scene because we're just kind of like we can kind of fit in with everything, but kind of fit in with nothing. I don't know. It's sort of weird. But I mean, we just try to write big, fun rock music with catchy hooks and melodies. Everything's about the melody first, 100%. It's if the vocal melody's not there, we just kind of scrap it and try to get on to the next thing. It's all about making sure something's singable, and we want people to hear it and like get that earworm and just sing it back to us. That's what we go out and play live for. Hopefully that we can get people like interacting with us and having a good time and kind of forgetting about what's going on in their lives for the half hour or hour, whatever it is that we're playing. So that's kind of what we do. We all have been in a mood here recently where we've been listening to a lot of Phil Collins.
Cool.
Uh, so we have like we have a Google Drive folder of all of our like demo ideas and stuff that we're working on, and we have like probably 20 different files that are like Phil Collins idea one, Phil Collins song two. Like, 'cause we've just been doing a whole bunch of shit. I've been playing I've been using a lot of like delay pedals now. So like I have this like U2 sort of thing going on that it just kind of accidentally happened. But the more that we're working with it, the more we're just like that's Phil Collins. So we're just like, who doesn't love Phil Collins? So I mean,
Exactly. And if you really feel like going for the whole U2 thing, I don't know, man, you can always try and get the handlebar tash and the lightning bolty shaped guitar, you know.
yeah, hey,
There's a
who who
there's a
doesn't
little
love music?
there's a little hint of Paul making another one of those like E-type guitars. We can't say obviously what the name is because yeah, don't want to upset those folks. But yeah, that kind of guitar. Let's cover another one.
Yeah,
I
that's right.
I think as well, it's probably one of the most difficult things I find when someone asks, what kind of music do you play? You're like, shit. I think as well, some people find it almost as if they're coming across as somewhat pretentious, but trying to describe the kind of the music they do or whatever as well. Like,
Well, I think also it's hard when you're the one doing it because you're too close to it.
yeah,
Because like in my head, I know what I'm trying to do. Like I know that this song that we're working on, it sounds like if Phil Collins and the Killers had a baby. That's what we're going for. But it might come out as in like, oh, you guys just wrote a darkness song or something.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. I'm just kind of like I just put it out there as like here's what I think that we're doing. Hopefully it comes across, you know.
yeah. I think having listened to some of the stuff you guys do, I think that's an accurate description. And in terms of guitars and stuff, then I can see you've got a nice little collection behind you. So how did you stumble upon vintage in the first place?
So we actually played with a band from a town about an hour and a half or so west of us. That they were playing all these guitars, and we just started talking to them about these guitars. Turns out they were endorsed by Vintage, and we had never heard of Vintage. We didn't know anything about them, but we were like, "Damn, these guitars! They look incredible. They sound amazing." From off stage, like they looked like what they're sort of supposed to, what big brands they're supposed to kind of look like. But we're like, the hell, that headstock looks different, like that. But they were actually endorsed. They were a band called the Bombcats. They're from Indianapolis, Indiana,
Yep.
and they got us in touch with their artist rep. I think he's out of Texas. They got us in touch with him, and then we just kind of started talking back and forth with him, seeing what was going on, seeing how the whole thing worked, and I I ended up going with the V100 here, and it showed up literally about, I don't know, 2 hours before a gig. No, probably about 2 hours before we had to leave for a gig. I think we were playing about 3 hours away that night. Uh, and so I opened it up right before we left, threw it in the van, got there to the gig. The first time I touched it was like actually like plugged it in to my amp, sound check right before we were getting ready to go. And we were playing this big festival that had like it was really cool. It was like set up with like pyro and stuff. It was wild. I don't there's
That's awesome.
no reason we should have headlined that festival, but for some reason we were there. Uh, and so plugged it in, set it up, and as soon as I hit that first chord to like line check, we all like just looked at each other like, oh yeah, this is the shit right here. And then it's just kind of spiraled. Now I have three. I don't know. I'm always looking at different stuff, seeing whatever new things are coming out, or seeing what things pop up. But yeah, I mean,
Bad case of gas.
yeah, but yeah, man, I don't know. It was just sort of happenstance that we just met this band and they talked it all up, and we're like, yeah, sure, we'll give it a try, with absolutely no idea what we were getting ourselves into. And then everyone that shows up, it's just like, yes,
That's really
yeah,
cool.
thank you again.
Well, I suppose on that note, what do you think, attracts you to kind of play the guitars? I mean, what is it? You've got three behind you, so what is it that, kind of you particularly dig about them?
Man, they're just well. So first and foremost, I think I would say they're affordable. It's just I don't like spending a lot of money on like guitars because it's just like one piece of the whole thing. So I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know. I'm not like a collector. I've played expensive guitars and like they're cool, but I'm just like, eh. So like super affordable. Uh, Under that, they look cool, which I also play I have a pink like Kramer Super Strat over here that I play quite a bit, and I
Nice.
only bought it because it looks absolutely ridiculous. It's bright pink. Like for me, just the look of a guitar is super huge, and I mean they look super cool. So I mean that's right there. And then I would say the biggest thing besides those is just how sturdy and like reliable they are. I've never had any problems like tuning wise. Uh, and I move around and I dance and I run back and forth. We kind of like to in again in my head, what we like to model our stage show after is like that mid '80s Van Halen, just running back and forth and just getting wild and making stupid faces and having a blast. So like I move around a lot on stage, and even doing all that, I don't lose like tuning. Tuning stays
Yeah.
great. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about this bridge on the V6, but I use the trim on that like it's a Floyd Rose, and I don't have tuning problems with it.
I think with that, if it's the stock Wilkinson trading,
Yep.
I believe that there is something stagger drilled about the block,
Mhm.
which means that they'll just, land back to where they should.
Yep. I ordered the same one and the same tuners for this Kramer that I have sitting over here because
Really cool.
I was like this thing's It doesn't make sense. I don't understand it. It's witchcraft, but it works.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure there was something, from memory at least, I'm pretty sure there was something where there's like some kind of stagger drilling in the block,
Yeah. Yep.
which is really cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, I mean that's the biggest thing for me is they're just sturdy, they're reliable. I don't have problems with them. I've literally never had to set like I never have intonation problems with it or anything. Sometimes, traveling around getting beat up, I gotta fix it here and there. But for the most part, like if we have a quick turnover and I just have to get up and play real quick, I'm not concerned about it at all. So that's probably the biggest thing for me, honestly, with these vintage guitars.
Well, if you don't mind, can we have a little look at what you've got then?
Yeah, which one do you want?
Take your pick.
Uh, we'll do the V6 first. This is my number one that I play all the time. Uh, I've recorded I think everything we've done since like 2018, 2018. Everything we've recorded's been recorded on this.
That's
Uh,
cool.
it's just super flexible. I like having the what pickup split or whatever you want to call it
Yeah,
in
color split.
Yeah, so I end up recording a lot with this on just like a single coil sort of setting. Now I did swap out the bridge pickup. This is a Seymour Duncan. It's just a JB
Oh,
in
cool.
here. Um, this is the first guitar I've ever really like messed with like pickups on it. I've never really been one for like tinkering with stuff, but
Yeah.
this one I kind of wanted to try something different, and I've always wanted a JB in one, so I threw that in here. Other than that, I record pretty much like solos and stuff we record on here, but a lot of times I end up using some combination of these two.
Yeah.
On this, they just record really nicely. They sound great when you start layering things. Um, I love the Wilkinson stuff. Like honestly, like the whole build of just the vintage guitars and then mixed with the Wilkinson like hardware. I just
Right,
that
bumpers it up.
I'm cool with it, man. It sounds great. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty beat up. I'm not really one to like clean my guitar. I don't like the fretboard's pretty grimy. Um, I don't know. It's just a tool. I'm not like
Character.
yeah, I'm not really like I don't romanticize my relationship with the guitar at all. It's just kind of the tool that I use to make sound. I don't know.
Nah, yeah, I think you're right. And again, it's one of these things that the ones you've got, they all look really cool, but you know yourself, I suppose it's all about, the sound and the feel and all sorts of things, but we all probably walk into guitar stores or see things online and go, that one's not for me. With some of these really, really super utilitarian, more modern shaped ones, it's just like,
Yeah.
can't, just something about it. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
But
just
it's a tool with, your preference of these things, and it's nice to do. It's nice to have the options and stuff as well.
yeah. And I mean, I don't know. I feel like we're at a point now in like the world where like if something happens to it, I fix it. Like I don't like I mean, you see stories of like people getting like headstocks and stuff snapped when they fly and TSA breaks them or whatever, and like as much as that sucks, you just take it and have it fixed. Like I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
care. Like it is what it is. Um but yeah, I really like this one. Like I said, the trim's ridiculous. I don't know why I don't know what they got going on in that's all that it
yeah. There you go. Stagger drill. Yeah,
to keep this thing in tune. But yeah, that's my favorite thing to do on stage is hitting those Eddie Van Halen, Dimebag Darrell like dive bombs
yeah.
at the end of a solo or something, and it just I don't know. It's silly, it's ridiculous, it's over the top, but it's what I like to do.
But
So
it's fucking awesome.
yeah, that's cool. I'm missing I don't remember what we did here, but I moved the volume pot right here was in the way because I would hit it a lot.
Okay.
So we got one of the oh, that's what we did. I just used one tone
One tone,
knob
one volume. Yeah.
just to do everything, and I moved the volume pot down there. But I don't know. Again, just kind of whatever. Just left the hole there. It is what it is.
Yeah, like I say, it's one of these things that makes your guitar different from, someone else's.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, these, and this one is one of the ones that sort of comes like relic anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it already kind of looks like it's beat to hell anyway. So I'm like, why am I going to keep it clean?
Yeah, precisely. And I think that's the thing. I've got obviously plenty of new, kind of reissued series ones. And if I do accidentally ding one, I'm like, oh, but then it's like, something that's time will do these things, It's
Yeah, and we got the old beat up van that we drive around in. So I mean, it's like we're not pulling nice shit out of this van when we drive up to these little docks. I mean, it's just like it's whatever. We pull these out. We got them in nice cases, and that's the biggest thing.
yeah, that's cool. So if I can check, obviously we know about that V100, but tell us more about that acoustic, if you don't mind.
Yeah, the it's the VE660, I think is what it is.
Yeah,
It's because it's got the electric hardware in it, which was a big thing that I needed. I've never had like a really nice acoustic guitar. I've always just had little shitty things that have been beat around forever. Uh, and I've never had one with the actual like electronics in it. So that was big for me. But I just sort of ordered this on a whim one day, just because, like I said, I've never had a nice acoustic, and I just wanted one for sitting around the house. And buddy, I'll tell you what, I I love this thing. I'm at a point now where I almost exclusively play this, like if I'm sitting around at home,
oh, really
uh,
cool.
and just wanting to play, or I, sitting watching TV, just wanting to strum a guitar, or I'm writing stuff. This is pretty much what I'm playing exclusively at this point.
That's
Um,
really cool.
Sounds good. It feels good. I don't know. I really like the neck. The neck on it's really nice to play. Um, the last couple acoustics that I've had, like I said, they were cheap, shitty guitars anyway. So it's whatever. But like the necks were big, and I don't know. I have little hands, so it's nice
Yeah, I
when
think that's the thing. Some of them you get a hold of it, and it's like that's got a neck like a baseball bat, man.
yeah, I just which like that
Really
all has
nice.
that all has its place, and certain guitars, certain songs, it feels good to have that big ass
Chunk.
neck. I got little hands, so I don't need all that. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. I always forget that there's a tuner on it, just because like I've never had an electric acoustic.
Yeah, that's pretty
Uh,
handy.
so I always end up pulling out my phone trying to tune it, and our bass player Kyle will just be like, "You have a tuner on it, idiot! What are you doing?" Like, oh yeah,
The cool thing as well with them is we quite recently did a recording and had set up a condenser mic to record the acoustic, but had done a separate track for it, plugged in, and used the preamp. That got a pretty cool result as well. Like it gives you that kind of warm, kind of electroacoustic plugged in sort of thing, but then the nice, kind of not raw sound, but the kind of extra kind of transients you get on, just a strummed acoustic guitar with no plug-in.
yeah. I used it for a gig a couple months ago. We had some stuff going on, and it ended up just being me and my singer went and played this gig, so I just brought this along with me. Uh, and that was the first time I plugged it into like a big PA and
Yeah,
ran it to the house and everything, and it was kind of like, okay, like, oh, this thing's legit. It's not just like fun sitting at home playing. Like this thing sounds really good.
yeah,
Uh, I messed with the EQ a little bit for the most part. It was just kind of left it where it was and let front of house do its thing. And it sounded great.
yeah. They're really cool, aren't they? Well,
Yeah.
music-wise, what have you guys got lined up in terms of gigs or recording? Have you got anything in the diary, or what's happening with
We are usually this time of year we kind of slow down just for the holidays and everything anyway. And a couple of us I don't, but a couple of the guys in the band have kids, so it just gets a little slow this time of year
that?
anyway. But we just finished up a couple of songs in the studio last weekend, 2 weekends ago. Yeah, something like that. And we think we're gonna head in, probably try to do another 5 or 6 songs and actually put together a record. We haven't released an
Nice.
actual record since like 2017. We did an EP, and then we've done a handful of like singles since then. So we think we're ready to go ahead and like dive in and spend the money, spend the time, and
Yeah.
do a proper record. So that's kind of what we're doing right now. Is like I said, we just finished up 3 songs. We're just kind of writing right now, trying to come up with more songs that sound like Phil Collins ripoffs. We try to throw in like the Killers a little bit to sort of like modernize the Phil Collins sound a little bit.
You
But
should just have your own little kind of spur off that called the Collins Killers or something. I don't know, like.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, and also because I've been playing this so much, I've just recently, I know this is crazy because they're such a modern band. I just recently got into Oasis. Uh,
Okay.
I don't, yeah, I don't know. I'm behind on a lot of things like that. But so I've been playing this a lot. So I'm writing a lot of Noel Gallagher sounding stuff, and boy, I'm not Noel Gallagher, but trying. So yeah, I don't know. We're trying to write some new tunes right now. Really excited about where we're going with it because it's, I don't know. It just when you hear like our past stuff and you hear the stuff that we're working on now, like I think it's really obvious sort of where like now that we're doing stuff, we can kind of see like, oh, we've actually been heading here for a while.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious to see like what this end result might be because it's like I don't know. It's like there's pieces of what we have now that we kind of look back and it's like, oh, we were already kind of working on this,
Yeah.
and now we're starting to see it like actually come to fruition. Uh, so I think it'll be pretty cool. We're really excited about what we're doing. We've worked with the same producer that we've been doing for the last couple years. Uh, and now he actually works out of a really nice studio that's like a half hour away from here. But he was with the. Do you remember the band? They were really big. They were big for a while. Probably about 8-9 years ago. They're kind of back now. But they were called Foxy Shazam.
Yeah.
You ever heard
Yeah.
of Foxy Shazam? He was their guitar player in that band. His name is
Cool.
Lauren. And they're local here to Cincinnati. He's not touring with them anymore. He had kids. Now he's just running his studio and
Change of
everything.
priorities.
Yeah, yeah. So I think they're still out going and doing things, but he's here with us now, unfortunately for him. But we've been working with him, and working with a guy like that who's done it, who's been successful, and like he's got a really good ear.
Yeah.
So he's been a good like fifth member of our band to like kind of like what we were talking about earlier, how we're almost like too close to it.
Yeah.
It's good to kind of have that like that outside ear of just somebody to sort of challenge you, like, yeah, that idea is cool, but like, eh, could it be cooler? Like, or is it the right idea? I guess is sort of what he likes to do with us. So that's
Very
pretty cool.
cool.
So all that being said, yes, we're writing right now and gonna try to put out a record, hopefully like next summer sometime.
That's cool. Well, whereabouts online can we find you guys?
Our website is just motelfaces.com. Honestly, we are like, if you type in Motel Faces on Google or anything, we're literally the only thing that comes up.
That's cool.
So we got really lucky there. But yeah, I mean, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, uh, yeah, I mean, all the good.
All the usual outlets. Yeah.
I try to stay pretty current on keeping up like on social media and everything. So there's always some BS that I'm playing with on social. We like to have fun. We like to goof. We goof on each other. So it's always good when we get people that come in and kind of get the vibe that we're going for and start like
Yeah.
start shitting on us too, so we can get that's always fun time. But yeah, I mean, we're everywhere. Type our name in, it comes up.
Yeah, that's cool. Listen, obviously, I'll include all the links in this video, but let me just reiterate, very, very grateful that you've given your time this holiday weekend and joined us. So thank you very, very, very much for that. I really do appreciate it, John.
I appreciate you doing like the whole idea of like you doing this is really cool because I mean I'm sure you're talking to a lot of people that don't get interviewed all that often. Like I mean it's not like I'm sitting here. I don't have a press day lined up where after I got 5 other interviews that I'm doing. So I mean I don't know. It's cool for me when somebody wants to take the time to actually like talk to me about
Yeah.
me, even just like just guitars alone. It doesn't even have to be about the band. Just sitting and talk music with somebody who like I don't normally get to hang out with. Um, it's cool. Makes us feel like we're like aha, like it's working. Like
Well, like I say,
I'm
it's
quitting my job after this, so hopefully it works out.
oh, me too. That's cool then. That's not what fuck. That's fine. Um, no, it's really cool that Vintage. So again, a big shout out to them, obviously, for supporting what we're doing with this, and obviously the Vintage Guitar Players group is somewhere that I help to run, and it's really cool that there's players from all over the world playing all sorts of different music, and this is the whole idea. We want to be able to to actually showcase you know what people are playing, where they come from, all that kind of diversity. Because I think the big thing with the group is that it's really pretty decent. It's usually pretty much kept on topic to that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's vintage and the other kind of brands that JHS put out, but I think the good thing as well is there's a really good bunch of people in the group, and it's the kind of place that for all the things we have, like you say, people can go along to see you guys and just switch off from all that other shit they don't want to, kind of think about in life for the time and just enjoy something. And I think it's not the same experience looking at a Facebook group as it is going along to, see some live music or to hear something new, but it's cool just that it's the kind of place that it doesn't really matter what your opinions are on things like politics or your worldviews or any of that kind of shit. That just gets left at the door. We just don't have time for that.
I've
It's
really enjoyed
just,
being a part of the groups like for that because everybody's for the most part, like I'd say 99% of the time that I've been around for it, it's pretty cooperative. It's pretty like this is what we're here for. This is what we do. And it's been really cool like connecting with some people. Like we've had some people go on just from like little videos or just me like interacting in the
yeah.
group. Like we've had people like buy T-shirts from us and stuff that we've had to ship over to the UK. And I'm like, oh man, this is really cool. Like, so yeah, I've definitely enjoyed. I'm probably not as engaged with it as I should be. I'm a lurker, not so much an interactor.
Just quite the peeping above there.
100%. That's 100% me.
No,
So
that's the thing. But people can get as involved as they want to with these things. They can take a peek in and see what kind of guitars there are. The good thing is that every once in a bit we have interaction and things like competitions. We have things like Vintage putting up a guitar or some t-shirts or whatever for some pretty cool
yeah,
competitions. We've
yeah,
got things like people that you get the opportunity to kind of put in suggestions for threads if you want to see what kind of guitars you want next. What kind of finishes would you like them to do, all that sort of thing. And it's pretty cool because, like I say, there are a lot of companies that have tried to put themselves out there as being particularly authentic, shall we say, but I can go out and do Vintage as an affordable guitar that sounds the shit
yeah.
without having to go, right, I need to upgrade this and I need to upgrade this, or without, getting papped out of the house because I've just spent $3,000 on a guitar or something.
Well,
Um,
and that's what I was saying. I mean, that's one of the biggest things for me with these is they're all just sturdy. They're reliable
yeah,
guitars, like, and they're just they're affordable. So I mean, you can get a really good guitar that is worth way more than what you're actually like paying for it. Like
yeah.
I I enjoy I enjoy them so much. Like I said, the only other guitar I play is this pink Kramer that I bought, and it's literally just because it looks ridiculous. But outside of that, it's these vintages the whole way for me.
Yeah.
Now I
Listen,
will say I am going to jump in on your like where we go out for suggestions. Our bass player really needs a short scale vintage bass, and he's currently playing a bass 6. So if I need to start a campaign right now to get a vintage short scale bass 6 because he's got little baby
right,
fingers,
okay.
they're full size. That's what we need from vintage right now.
I do believe there's a VS4,
Okay.
like a VS6 kind of Black Sabbath AC/DC type thing, which is short scale, I'm pretty sure. But yeah,
Yes, he
maybe
has
some other
seen
short
that.
scales would be pretty cool.
I've seen that. I don't think he's. I don't think he's. I don't remember.
No,
I don't know. It's his thing. I don't know.
Well, let's see if we can get some other short skills in. The
Sounds
campaign begins. That's fine.
right. Like political ad posters, but it's just Kyle with a bass.
I think we need that. I think we can do that. Yes we can. Uh, yeah. Thank you
Yes,
so
we
much, man. Yes, we
can.
can. We can do this. But no, listen, let me say thanks again, man. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll hopefully catch up soon. Okay.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Let me know. I'm down to talk guitars and whatever other sort of bullshit we can get ourselves into just about any time.
That sounds like a plan. Have a good day, man. All right. Cheers.
Sure.